So I think we can all agree the best team on planet football is Real Madrid of course, Spain, with the best Englishman, Jude Bellingham, and then, of course, Ballon d'Or to be winner, Vinicius Jr. Masterminded by the Don Ancelotti, who won not just La Liga, but the Champions League this year, has a huge challenge here, cause Madrid are getting a little bit of issues with FFP. Just like Barcelona, Real Madrid are starved of money, having 0 million euros, a squad of 24 with no high-rated players, and a team now competing in Spain's second tier. As yes, guys, this is going to be a huge rebuild. We have took everything away from that man Ancelotti. But to be fair, he's kind of experienced with this because of the money troubles at Everton. And he was Everton manager, but it might be a bit trickier because you can see at the side, we can't sign anyone back who we've released. And you'll see in a second what I mean by releasing, but no Jude Bellingham. Can't get my boy back, and I would have loved to, as we can only sign as well 3 players a season through swap deals or money, and we need to get a youth academy player through straight away, but for season 1 we already have some. As this is the squad we have, our best player at the club is Jesus Vallejo, who has dropped down a bit. Remember him at Wolves being a fairly decent player, but our most decent player, Juan Lataza, 22-year-old, but when we sim to our weakest players, you can see there's a few youth players. We do have some good wingers in Alex Calderon, Villabla on the other wing, and yes, it's making me think of a formation already. And the reason they have spawned in already at the start of this save is because we don't have the money to go and pay a scout. So they have been generated as just default starting players, but I speak about wingers, and we've got wingers who are better. Peter right here, and also Marvin, the 2-1 name geniuses. Can they make a name for themselves here at Real Madrid? But it's not going to be as simple because we do need a style. And of course, when in Spain, we're going tiki-taka, and we're going to probably go 4-3-3 attack because we do have a decent cam as well. As this is the starting team that we make, and you can see definitely our weakest positions are fullbacks in this lineup, and one of them only on loan, Vinicius Tobias. I was going to say, can we turn him into the next Vinicius Jr, but he is a defender, as one player that's a cam and Brazilian and young, Renier, who we could use alongside Theo Zidane. Of course, he's the captain of the club now and son of Zinedine Zidane, or Zizou. That's definitely easier for me to say, as we're putting everyone on development plans, getting them ready for the season. As another player that's only a loan player for now, Ike Bravo. He does belong to Bayer Leverkusen, but I'd love to make his stay permanent in a Real shirt. As speaking of Real shirts, I have got one on. Champions League final one. You can see it's got the details there. It's also got the badge on the sleeve and Bellingham on the back. And I got this from Soccer Deal Shop, which you can use in the description and use the discount code as well. MWS10. That's an extra 10% off, as we are in the second tier as well. Hopefully, we can make it a good season for ourselves down here, because we've got no signings to do, and we're going straight into it. As how does our young Real Madrid squad do? Because we're already at the end of the season, you can see the 42 games have been played as 17 defeats. Ancelotti's not cooking. I mean, no signings made. All our best players leave, which I will show you later on, where they all go in their career. As you just saw bad in the Copa Espana and the promotion playoffs, we're definitely not near those. As how does our team look? Okay, a bit unhappy. We do have some decent ratings though. Peter on the left wing, he is trained there. Can he be the next Vini Jr? Lataza, can he be the next Ronaldo? Gotta aim high, as where's the main man as well? Zidane, has he lived up to his dad's expectations? No, because he's actually run out of contract. We don't have any money, so we couldn't sign him up. So we're losing him, and to be fair, his potential's a bit off. We're losing Obrador, and we're losing our goalkeeper, which is a real shame, but we do have some good players. Of course, we're attack heavy with Latasa scoring 17, Renier, which I'm going to call him, with 10 goals, and Bravo with 8. Could we permanently sign him? I'm thinking to myself, I would really love his company, but only 6 million. We have lost them few players as we're into season 2. And come on, higher than 14th. Madrid, I know we're down. I know we're out, but we can't be out. We need to be better. Our attack doesn't need touching. Our midfield with Paz, he looks very decent, but he needs a partner, and we need some fullbacks, and we actually need a goalkeeper, but we can only sign 3 players, making the challenge difficult. But we do have a scout, and we need him to be good. Of course, we are sending him to Spain, and we're looking for a left back. So yes, it will cost us money, but we can sign 3 other positions and hopefully get a youth player in our team. Has anyone half decent? Well, we've got Jimenez. He must have been from last year. And Ledesma, he looks our best shot. So we are going to give him a shot, but only being 57 rated worries me a little bit. But whilst I'm on this menu, we cannot have another contract scenario go down because we've got Vallejo, Marvin, Latasa, Peter, all out of contract. And that's going to cost us a lot of money, leaving us not much to actually sign any decent players up with. But I've been tactical here, and I've signed them up for kind of cheap. Only 1-year contracts, but it leaves us with 5 million. And I signed them up before we change their positions because they could go up in rating, but Peter stays the same. What about Marvin as a winger? He stays the same. And they were the only changes. So I thought I was being smart. But no, they stay the same, as I'm actually thinking now, instead of playing Ledesma, who is very weak in this side, what if we, and I know it's just gone against our position changes, but change to this formation, went to a back 3 to get Captain Marvel involved on the left-hand side, and Alvaro, another left-hand-sided striker at only 19, giving us the freedom to just sign a goalkeeper and a central midfielder, and for 5 million altogether, them two should be affordable. And we've been very good with our budget so far as a player promoted, Rodri Mendoza, from, of course, Elche, as we could have paid his release clause, but we saved a little bit of money, costing 2 million on the dot for a very talented central midfielder, leaving us a little bit more than I initially thought I'd have for a goalkeeper, and I really want Marco Suarez. An excellent signing, this one, from a rival Oviedo, as I believe them 2 signatures complete our team for now. But before I show you what's happened in Season 2, this is the time in the video where I make a plea to you. We are on a race to hit 30,000 subscribers before the Euros ends, and it's literally that tight. So if you could help us out, I greatly appreciate you, and you are amazing, as have we done amazing. 6th! Oh, just outside the playoffs, but it's a much better season under Carlo Ancelotti. 2 points was the gap, as Las Palmas make a Copa de Espana final. Gives us faith we can do it. If they can make the step up to La Liga and then go for it, why can't we next season, as there's the playoffs? But how's our young squad? That's the question. Wow. Right, it looks like there's a gap forming, which I'm not a fan of. Some high-rated players like Marvin Latasa at 79, but Peter at 80. Almost choked even saying it, as this is how our squad lines up. And I did loan some players out, including Noel, and a youth player Marquez, who's gone to Blackpool. From Real Madrid to Blackpool. That doesn't make any sense. But one thing that does is Latasa being top scorer. 18 goals. Alvaro, should I say? Can't even say his name right, but he has got 13, and Peter in double digits for both this season. But it's all good praising Peter. If we cannot, us, Real Madrid, get out of tier 2, we are a failure. Especially in a 3rd season, as we've got £8 million, now £1 million to a youth player and also to contracts. Leaves us with a lot to sign 3 players. As you can see, our scout. I'm actually gonna send him for a centre-back this time, as I want to try and find the next Sergio Ramos and Mendoza. His maximum potential is 70. But then again, with the mods, I do have dynamic potential. He's going to be loan listed. See if anybody takes a gamble. As one thing I am not gambling on this year as well is players running out of contract, because we lost another one last year in our captain Marvel, and he's already a 70 rated. Bayer Leverkusen bought him, but I want to buy from them because I just haven't forgot him. Oh, and he's moved. I really wanted EK Bravo, but he's already in La Liga. That counts him out as, how do we count ourselves in? Well, it's obvious really, isn't it? A centre-back and a centre-mid. As the reason I don't say Alvaro replaced, because we need to get Buck back. He's still on loan at Oviedo. I think he comes back in like a week. Or he's actually back and hiding on the bench. And I must have missed him, but I am very excited for this man. And hopefully he can be like Bravo for us. As actually, no, he's in the team. Wait, no. No, this cannot be. This cannot be. Oh, he's a free agent, so we can get Latasa back. He wouldn't sign a deal because he wouldn't get an extension. I tried everything for him to stay, as probably this is why he wanted to leave and maybe come back again, to get a release clause in his contract and a higher wage, but he's signed up back at Real Madrid. Don't you try that again, Latasa. Don't you be giving me heart problems. As it's not him that I'm angry at, it's us for not getting promoted, because when we don't get promoted, the players don't sign contracts. As I want this man to sign up, Gil Brito from Godoy. He is in the Argentinian leagues, and he might cost a bit. But this man is a regen with huge potential, and we need that potential to work to get us into the top tier. And I've got an idea. With signing Latasa from free agents, can we find a free agent to just slot in our midfield? One with a bit of quality, and I believe I have found him. Lachi, who's playing for Albania in the Euros. And we are going to sign him up, as I know you probably didn't expect it, but did Real Madrid fans expect to really sign Joselu? As I remember him being absolutely terrible at Stoke City, as there's Lachi in the team. We need to get Brito at centre-back. There we go. Now that is a promotion team. We were just one place off it last year. Can we get in them playoffs? As come on, if Ancelotti can't get Real Madrid promoted in 3 years, I know with a young team, there's really something up. As, oh, it doesn't look like it though. Them ratings are very, very tasty. As we can start with actually making a substitution. Noel comes out. There's one thing I have noticed. Trust me to see the negatives, but Brito's rating has stayed at a 72. Not much out of the centre-back. But as for everyone else, we've got Marvin +5, Latasa now an 81, but he is 25 and running out of contract, as we will sign him up this year. He's not going anywhere. But Lachi looks like he's leaving. Actually, no, go on, I'll offer him a new contract as well, as our top scorers, Marvin and Latasa, both 20. But I don't care about scorers, I care about scorers' results in the league. Top of the second tier. 101 points, get that trophy in the bag. It is just what the doctor ordered this late on, as 3 seasons deep is pretty heavy for Madrid, as Bilbao win the Copa, and at least we are promoted. As now it is clutch time. We can only make 3 signings, so please, board, have given us a good budget, because I want Brito out. I am not gonna lie at all. And Suarez, is he top division quality? You could ask that question of a lot of players, you know. Rafa Martin's only 24. I actually thought he was older. Lachi's quite old. We've got a lot of decent strikers. Alvaro. And then I believe we've got Noel at 73. So no attackers needed, as 27 million. I mean, it is decent for players, but is it enough? I mean, I'm dreaming like we are actually still the top Madrid, but we are second to Atleti now. Got to keep reminding myself of that fact, as Uxo Miranda, now he looks a decent player. The only issue is, where do we actually play him? I'm going to go centre-back. I do think, though, at only 5'5". Did it say 5'5"? Yes, it did. 5'5", £154. maybe a weak defender. But we did want the next Ramos, and he goes straight onto the loan list. We are going to get him a loan deal and focus on the first team, including contracts, which of course are going to get a lot more expensive, but some important players again. Latasa signs year by year. Quite annoying the fact he does that, as we need to try and be cheap with our players. And Dominic Kotarski. Yeah, he's not that great, but he's 80 rated and he's in the Belgian Pro League, meaning maybe we could get him for cheaper. But not at all. In fact, he rejects our purchase. So nope, not getting him. And where do we look next? Well, maybe we actually look towards selling a player. Marvin's got an offer of 74 million plus Jake O'Brien, which I am going to delegate for just that amount of money. If they pay over 110 million, they can definitely have our winger. As sure, we'd have to replace him, but that's broke down as well. So we're just going to get these 3 players signed for relatively cheap. But we have got a good offer in, so maybe this changes things again. Marvin, 134 million. So goodbye to you, my friend. Very good in the second tier, but in the first tier, just Peter on the wing. As here come the replacements. The first 2 are unbelievable. Issa Diop from Championship Fulham, and Nelsido Reis from, I believe, the Brazilian League or the CONMEBOL, whatever you call it, but 2 very cheap players, leaving us a bucket load of cash to go and find a new replacement for our winger. And I am gonna go all out on this man right here. He is running out of contract. Javi Simmons, and his last deal for 113 million. What a signing. It shows when Real Madrid do get a lot of money after bankruptcy, they're still not scared of spending. As just tell me he's had an impact right there, as we are at the end of the season, and he's 90 rated in CAM. As I moved Rainier out wide, and he should be trained as a right midfielder, we've got an 87 Latasa. He's took over Peter, and he hasn't run away from the club this season, which is good. And another thing I've just noticed on this screen, Gil Brito, he has been played and he has gone up +6 as goal scorers. 18 for Peter. Not bad at all, as Renier is a right wing, not right mid, because I wanted to get that rating increase. And that's what we got as, oh, stinky. Absolutely stinky. 15th in La Liga. Don't think Real Madrid would ever settle for that in real life. Nowhere near the cups. A real failure season. With the ratings we had, we should have been a lot better. Only 1 growth from Yuxo Miranda. Embarrassing. Really bad season when you look at it overall, apart from the signing of Javi Simmons. As where do we go from here now, lads? We did get a lot of money last year, and it's definitely defense that needs improving. I mean, Vallejo, he's been club captain. He's been here a while, but he's out for Brito. He's latched into this team as 103 million. That's very generous, but the first bit goes on scouting. And I mean, last year we did make a lot from selling Marvin, but a lot of that went into Javi Simmons, sure, not all of it. As this year with the scouts anyway, I am going to look for a goalkeeper, because I just believe goalkeeper gets the best growth quickly. Not that we need a keeper, because I do like the ones we have, but see, 2 good ones in Cabrera and Alvarez. As the first one we've promoted, Jesus is in the team, and this team needs, of course, to go and get improved. As the first player I'm going to go for, Arnie Engels, a Belgian, of course. Real Madrid are passion to a Belgian. Hazard, Courtois, they both kind of worked. I mean, one definitely worked. The other one, not so well. As let's forget I brought up Eden Hazard in that conversation, as welcome to Engels. Hopefully he works out for Ancelotti. But he won't be the only Belgian joining Real Madrid this summer, because Zeno de Bast, he's been called up for the Euros, and he's in his final year of contract as welcome to the club, my friend. Hopefully links up with the midfielder just in front of him. As that was my thinking, 27 million, it leaves a little bit of money left. Enough for another player at least. Yeah, 26 million. Can we find another potential player with some good ratings and could grow even better than our first teamers? Well, I believe we can find him, and we have found him. Oscar Ramirez. the Benfica centre-back. After missing out on Enzo from Benfica many moons ago, this is the perfect backup response, signing Benfica's best. As let's just hope it's done decent. I'm not going to check the squad. I'm actually going to hop straight into this menu because I'm focused on ratings. And the highest, of course, is going to stay Javi Simons, but he is very closely matched by Lataza and Peter. So we've got to look after him and also look after Ramirez at centre-back and Reece in the goal, whose potential for someone who was 26 when we signed him is through the roof. But he's Brazilian, and they like to move up, as we've definitely moved up. 6th in the league. I think we are worthy of 3rd, but come on, I'll have to take it. Will that be, though, Conference League football? I hope so. Not Europa. I'd just love to win a trophy at the moment. And I would have loved to win the Copa de Espana, but Barca win it, and it won't be long till we topple Barcelona. As yes, we've got to get competing as 47 million. What is happening with this budget board? What is Perez doing? Money fluctuation, and if we want to beat Barcelona, we have to really try now, as we have qualified for the Europa League, and they want us to reach a final. They're critical of that objective, which is fine, which is fair, and we've got to go ahead and do it. So where do we have to sign? Well, I'd say defense again. It is our weakest position. With Marin, the main one. The centre-back. But then again, could we sign anywhere else? No. I'm just bored of signing defenders. But that is priority. And Jesus Villalba, he has never worked out, and we probably need a backup winger. And with us having only 47, I'd rather not sign a scout, as we do have a backup winger there, Contreras, but he isn't good. But still, I've promoted him, as it reminds me to look at Cabrera, who is 64 rated. And another thing, Suarez. He is joining Celtic at the end of his contract, so we could get another keeper, or should I say backup keeper. As one thing like the Tottenham rebuild, when we bankrupt them, you can see it in the iCard, whichever corner it may be in, is we tried to sign, realistically, we signed, of course, Australian or Asian players for an Ange Postecoglou team. And here we're looking at Portugal. There's examples of that being done before with Eder Militao, who, of course, joined Real Madrid. And Ronaldo later on. As you can see, we've put a bid in for both Gutierrez and Sandoval, the backup keeper. Must be old mates with Ramirez, this one. Of course, our centre-back. They are both Argentinian, both young, both from Porto. Or not Porto, but Portugal. He was from Benfica, Ramirez, as the other one as well that we're signing is also Argentinian. Angel Gutierrez from Farense. I've never heard of that club before, but he looks like a regen Messi. Or maybe not Messi level yet, but he goes straight onto our bench. And Sandoval the same. Not touch the first team, as we have got Marin and Ramirez. Ramirez I'm not worried about. Marin a little bit, but we've got Brito and Diop as cover. So we should be fine. There's only 6 million left. Only 2 bench players signed. Not made many signings this save. That being compared to usual, where we just go ham with signings, as we've got to go ham in our Europa League group, which is pretty difficult. Or as difficult as groups go for the Europa League to start off with, as our team should have got through, and tiredness is a good thing, as that's usually a sign that you're playing near the end of the season, and of course that is where the Europa League final comes into play. As 24 goals this season for Peter, the winger. That is unusual, especially how Simons is never highest scorer. You always expect him to be, as I'm already skipping up the table, and we are beaten to the top by Barcelona. At least we're competing now, and it's only 5 points. It could have literally swung either way, but it swings the Catalonian club's way. As is there a Copa de Espana? No, Barcelona again. Right, can we beat Barcelona? Is there a problem here? Because it seems like they're a roadblock for our success, as we are in the Champions League next year and we have won our Europa League group, leading on to Young Boys, who we smashed, kind of expected, and Barcelona we smashed. Why couldn't we do that in the league? On to the semi-finals, where we beat Aston Villa to get West Ham in the final. who actually beat us. I mean, congratulations, West Ham. They're finally getting their hands on the Europa League after the Conference League and beating this stacked team. Zabasti's up there, Peter. Latasa always, of course. And I cannot believe we've lost to West Ham of England. What to do to improve our chances, because we've got to go for the Champions League this year, not just the Europa League, which was of course stinky as Diop left and messed the team up, and of course we've lost a midfielder, I guess. Marquez should be not on the bench at all for us, so maybe we don't go for a bench player, but we replace Engels, because I've got a feeling reaching a final, 2 finals, and second in the league should be a big budget. 234 million. That is perfect for Ancelotti. So let's go out there and spend it on 3 or 2 vital players. Of course, avoiding getting a youth scout, as we've got Alvarez, a goalkeeper. I'm just going to promote him. No youth player's going to make a change, as they're all pretty weak. And I know one strong player I want straight off the bat. It is Enzo Fernandez. Mentioned him already, plus him and Nico Paz. We would have Nico and Enzo dominating La Liga. As there it is, I just had to skip all the cutscenes and everything to get these two together, as the next replacement is easy. And I believe I found him straight away. Another Brazilian player, Bruno Costa. Hopefully better than Eder Militao, who, don't get me wrong, is a very good player, but this man looks a real deal. Already coming from Bayern, as when you're stealing off Bayern, you know you've almost made it. 115 million. That's almost all our money up. And in fact, it is all our money up. I thought I gave him a high wage and it said we didn't have much. We've only got 40 euros left. With only 2 signings in, it shows how high the wage budget is, as Ramirez, don't know what is wrong with his energy. But he needs to fix himself up, because our Group D is not for death, but again, not an easy Champions League group. But come on, with the team that we have, we should have been good, and I have simmed towards the end, and the graphics are still on, meaning I think we've hit a final, as we did top our Champions League Group 3 draws. Not very convincing. But then in the round of 16, we got revenge on the Irons. And then in the quarterfinals, Man City 5-0. Meaning we came back from 4-1 down in that leg. I mean, Real Madrid do love a comeback against City. But didn't expect that, and didn't expect Feyenoord in the semis. But we do reach the final. And it's the Mbappe derby, who I believe could still be there. I will take a check at him. We don't have a backup striker. Noel is injured, so we'll replace him with Marquez. I guess it's going to be the 57 rated. Very, very lucky day. But he could be up for it this year, as we have won our domestic league, winning La Liga. Getting there, Madrid, but the Supercopa to Barca, so they still can beat us, but we win the Copa. That is 2 trophies in the cabinet. Get in. We've been starved for a bit, but before we move on, we have to check the ex-players, as I know you guys are interested, so I always try and show you as one that's not an ex-player. Technically, Mbappe, we will face him in this game with PSG. As you can see, Vini Jr, 94 rated now. No one higher than Javi. Jude Bellingham at Spurs. I'm going to skip through them normally just so you can see the stats. Goalazor at Freiburg. And then we've got Lunin at Burnley, who's the lowest rated. Antonio Rudiger, multiple time Champions League winner, still going at 37. As we want to win the Champions League. Without Tony, of course. I mean, I'd love to have had him back whilst he was still in his prime. But no re-signing players, and of course we've got De Bast, who's got the ball down this wing. And can we start on the front foot here against PSG? Don't know where the stadium's at, but I don't really care. We should be able to win this anywhere, as Latasa round the corner. Latasa to just blast one in. I mean, not the worst effort, but still not a goal. And Renier, good tackle. Now this has to be a goal. In our second attack, we've been dominant. Alvaro across the box, and Latasa to dink it. Of course it was going to be that, man. Madrid start strong, as it's a brilliant goal, isn't it? You make a tackle up the field and a dink to the main man. 1-0 us from the depths of bankruptcy, and I haven't actually seen Javi Simons touch the ball yet. And that is quite a shock. I expected him to dominate the game as a good tackle last minute there, but PSG trying to come back. Great save Nelsido, and one thing I've noticed about PSG just there, I believe they've got Odegaard and Gavi. Yes, them two from Barcelona who haunted us last season in the middle of the park in the final. As Odegaard trying to turn us, they've got Odegaard, Mbappe, Foden, Vardiol, and we just keep conceding corners. The tide has turned. For PSG to maybe get themselves a goal back here, the referee, I think that's a free kick. And yes, it is. Not a penalty. And oh my days, Debast. Not again, please. Get rid of the ball. I'm trying to whack it and Gavi's took it off us. Mbappe is through. And our Belgian defender has cost us a goal. What are you doing here, mate? You tried to pass it, then you tried to run it into your defender. Cost us our lead, and great, now we've got to try and go again against this mega team, but we've got a mega team of our own, so let's use it with Renier doing an overlap, pass in, just dink that across the net. It is close to Javi Simons, but Donnarumma's like 6'7", so literally has to lean forward and just catch the ball straight to his chest as Latasa, right side, Latasa to whack it, he whacks it through the big man, 2-1 and in the lead. Latasa makes up for Zeno Debast's mistake. No stopping this man, he clutches it from the defender, just like their goal against us. And no chance for Donnarumma. Lovely stuff, but this could turn into a game right here. PSG through again just before halftime to try and level it. At least it's not a player mistake as Nzandu picks up the ball and he's going to try and cross it afield, and he does cross it afield, but Enzo, weird tackle, and does get the ball right. 2-1 at the break. This is far from over. Stay alert, Madristas. Both fans and players don't expect to be given anything, but Renier with a good run until he decides to be greedy like Zeno in the defense. But oh my days, our number 5 absolutely cleaning them. Ramirez has got the Zidane number, as that's a good cut inside again, and Renier tests his luck. It might fall to Peter, who I believe was offside, but oh, we almost stole it off the last man for PSG. This man in the defense, Nzanzu, he's keeping them calm and he's dominating the game. I wish I would have picked up on him. See? He's just sent us for a hot dog and then sent them up the field as see Gavi on the ball. He's got some tricky feet, but no match for Xavi against Gavi. It is now Simons to keep on running forward. Look at the 98 rated. He is zooming it. He's Sonic and he's through on goal to score, and he's off the post and in. No saving it from surely the world's best player, Javi Simons, against his former club, the number 7 for Real Madrid. He is better than Vini Jr. There, I have said it. And definitely better than Mbappe, who's gone missing completely in this game. As on my days, though, they're trying to get round the sides. Phil Foden has done so. It could be a nervy ending if they score. Mbappe, Barcola, good save from Nelsido. But still, the attack's not over as Gavi gets it from De Jong. These are the two men I want to tackle. As Mbappe back in the middle, a pass into Barcola and a hit from Odegaard. Debast to try and clear it, and he does clear it, but loses the ball. Without Zeno Debast, I believe we'll be winning 3-0 easily. But that pressure he invited has definitely got PSG feeling a lot more confident against us, and they shouldn't worry that confidence. Let's make sure as it's a brilliant run. Latasa in for a hat-trick to kill the game off. He tried to go round Donnarumma, but the ball still alive. Vardiol reaches it before anyone, but the game is not alive. 3-1 to Madrid, as from the depths of bankruptcy, just like rivals Barcelona, Real Madrid have escaped to win the Champions League. And this is a nice touch. It's going to be Nelsido to lift the trophy, the player I had the least faith in, but he just became amazing. As if you want me to rebuild another amazing club, you can tell me down below and click here to watch another one.